I stood up, I looked that snake in the eye, and I said, today was a huge day for me, for so many reasons. I mean, holding a snake is something I never, ever, ever thought I would do or wanted to do. You know, it all started about 3 years ago. I started having these irrational fears, these crazy dreams about snakes chasing me. I remember the first dream was this huge python wrapped itself around me, and it was like every time I tried to escape, it was right there, and it was just chasing me. And then from there, at least once a month, there's some kind of dream about a snake, and I would wake up panicked and sweating, and sometimes even just, gasping for air. So this was a legit fear. So for me to be able to go and hold a snake, that was a huge fear off the list. So I'm really excited about that. The thing I'm realizing about fear is really just, it's scary because you don't know, right? I was terrified to hold a snake because I didn't know what it would be like. I didn't know what it would feel like. I didn't know anything about snakes. But if I would have taken the time to educate myself, right, to know about the fear or the thing that I was afraid of, then that fear would have diminished and got smaller. So that is the lesson that I've learned in all of this today is there's going to be fears, right? And sometimes fears can magnify themselves and present themselves as bigger than they really are. Sometimes fears can be very haunting, as far as like this snake fear that I've had, these dreams that just haunted me every month. It was just this terrifying dream about some kind of snake. But once I stepped out and I faced my fear, right? I looked straight at that snake and I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold this snake. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to experience, what I'm going to feel. I don't know how this snake is going to react, but I know that I'm going to do this. And I pushed myself. And once I did that, I was surprised. Like really surprised. The snake was actually very soft and not threatening at all. I thought it was gonna be like scaly and rough and maybe burning hot. I don't know, like a dragon or something. I made it to be something bigger in my mind than it really was. And once I touched it, I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty soft and in a weird way, kind of cuddly. It was nothing like I thought it would be. And that's a perfect example. Fear presents itself to be bigger than it really is, to be scarier than it really is, It's always even more motivation when your children are standing right there. And I knew that whatever I did would have an effect on them, whether it was me facing my fear and them seeing that, or me running from my fear and making some kind of excuse why I couldn't hold the snake, why it wasn't the right time. All those things would have sent a message to my kids that when they experience their own fears, well, hey, I'm just gonna do what daddy did. So it was super important for me. It was super, super important for me to face that fear while my kids watched. They all know that dad is terrified, or was terrified of snakes. But despite that, I stood up, I looked that snake in the eye. And I said, I'm going to hold it. And here's the crazy part. Here is the crazy part. I'm super proud of myself. The lady asked me, hey, do you want to touch the snake? I could have easily just settled for that. Touch the snake, no problem, done. But I said, no, I'm going to hold this thing. I grabbed it, and it was very, very uncomfortable, scary, but I did it. So excited about that, proud of myself, and to see that my kids were proud of me. My daughter telling me, Dad, I'm proud of you that you did that. I know it was scary, but you didn't back down. That meant so much to me. And here she is right there, just being crazy. I don't know why she's still up, but go ahead, tell the people, how proud of you are your daddy?
Very. Very.
I'm never doing that again. I did it one time, that was it. I don't need to do it ever again. So I think it's also fitting that I'm wearing a Wonder Woman hat. My daughter was kind of making fun of me, like, you're really gonna wear that out in public? Yeah, I'm gonna wear that in public. You know why? Shoot, because she's a good example, right? So there is even extra pressure. I couldn't back down from this fear, wearing a Wonder Woman hat in front of my daughter, teaching her that women can do anything just as much as men, right? So I had to do this. So I'm glad. Boom. Extra support.